So hello, welcome back to another video. Today I've just got down to a mark. I've literally just got here, just set my rods up, got the cameras out, and I'm planning to do some lure fishing for bass. Now condition wise it's not too bad, apart from this super bright at the moment. But the fortunate thing is we've had some really strong winds lately, so there's a nice bit of colour to the water. I'm fairly confident we're going to hook into at least a fish, but we're not going to know until we get started, so let's do it. Right, so yeah, there is a nice bit of colour to the water actually. It's not super murky, it's got that nice green tinge to it. Now I'm fishing head on into the wind, so I've decided to go for a bright white Savage Gear soft plastic. I think this is 33 grams in total. So we're going to whip this around, just work it on a nice steady retrieve, cover all the ground, and hopefully hook into a fish. Now sometimes when I come here it just looks super fishy straight away. I must admit today isn't exactly one of those days, but I do think we're in with a shout. By the looks of it so far, there doesn't look to be too much weed in the water, which is good. Well, that's not a bad start, is it? Third cast, bang, we're in. God, nice little bass that. Let's get it up. Dude, what an absolutely cracking start. So check this one out, all flared up, just a small one, but what a start that is. So there we go, one very angry bass. I'm going to get it straight back and off he goes. Well, that was one super angry little bass, flared up the whole time. Third cast in, first fish, let's keep going. So straight into things, just how we like it. Only a small fish obviously, but always welcome. I'm hoping there's going to be a few about, and what will be even better is to find something a bit bigger. Anything in the 50s I'll be quite happy with. No intention of keeping any fish today, just out for a bit of fun to see if they're here. I'm really kind of relying on that vibration of that paddle tail today, just because with the water being a little bit murky, although the bass will still go on sight, they're also going to go on the vibrations. Anything that they sense is a target. There's the first bit of weed of the day. That was pretty deep in the water. But there doesn't seem to be too much in the water today. The last time I came here it was much worse. Now we're on some big tides at the moment, and yeah, the tide's absolutely flying out. It's going to get really low here, so my plan was just to fish the tide down for a bit, see if we hook into anything. If it goes quiet, possibly move, or is it just worth staying and trying a few different rocks, trying to locate them again. I've had about 10 casts since that first fish and no other knocks or anything yet. So it's dead. Super quiet. That tide's dropping out seriously fast. I'm just going to clip on a little Samson shad. I don't particularly want to be fishing trebles with the weed in the water, but I'm just going to give it a few casts with this. This will pierce nicely against the wind. It's the 25 gram version. And yeah, I'll just give it sort of 10 casts with this, and then I've just seen some rocks over there which I think I'll be able to get onto once the tide drops a little, so I might give it a whirl off there. I've never actually fished off those rocks. But when that tide drops in the next sort of 20 minutes, I'll see if that's accessible, and if it is, I'll give it a quick go there. If not, then I need to come up with a plan. So we are back. However, we are at a completely different spot on a completely different day. Now, I'll talk to you a little more in a little while about the last spot I was at, which was nearly a week ago now actually. Well, and it got soaked by a wave there. Now, I've come down to another mark today. I'm only going to give it a few casts in this one particular area because the wind is howling in here and it's going to be really difficult to fish. The swell is nuts today. I mean, this is the sheltered side. Over behind me, a few miles down the coast there, it is absolutely carnage. Now, I've got my heavier rod with me today, and the reason for that is because I wanted to fish against the wind here for a little bit. I'm going to start with a 42 gram Western Sandy Andy and a Sandy Old imitation. As I said, I'll talk you through what I'm doing in a little bit, but I just want to have a few casts in this area first before I head over to some other rocks, which I can probably get onto in about 20-25 minutes time. So we're going to be going straight into the wind. I'm only going to be using the chest cam for now. Let's get to it and see if we can find a fish in the swell. Oh, these rocks are deadly, slippery and deadly. So basically, to cast in front of me, I'm going to have to cast about 45 degrees to my right because the wind is just going to absolutely take that lure. It's not going to be very effective fishing here. We're more so just seeing if we can pluck something out in the rough by using a heavy soft plastic just on a straight retrieve like this. The water's really murky this side. I've got every chance of snagging up and losing this lure, so I'm going to keep the retrieve steady, at least at a minimum speed, just to keep it as close to the surface as possible without hitting those rocks. It won't look like much on camera, but believe me, it is rough today and it is very, very windy. Let's work this lure over those boulders. What I'm hoping for is the backwash of the waves is going to be sucking everything out, and there's going to be fish waiting on the outskirts. That tide is messy, messy swell. You can see it sucking out down here, and every now and then I'll get splattered. But like I said, I'm only having a few casts from here, then I'll move along. Right, so we're going surface lure from here. Just going to ping it out, cover as much ground as possible. Now again, I'm only on the chest cam, so there's nowhere really for me to put the other camera at the moment. Got that swell rolling through here, strong current and chop. Really difficult to see the lure as well, so trying my best to keep my eye on it, and then if I see a big bust up and you feel the rod tip go over, I'm just going to lift into it. Right, well that was very unsuccessful. Bit of a waste of time really, but I just wanted to fish there for half an hour or so to see if I could get lucky and hook into something. But the swell's really big, the water's really murky. I'm not using those as excuses at all, but instead of what I think I'm doing, wasting my time, I'm going to drive about a mile down the coast and I'm going to go to another mark which is basically fishing off of boulders, and fishing off of boulders and then into a boulder bed. But it should be quite calm there and I should have the wind behind me. So let's go give that a try and hopefully we can hook into a fish. I haven't got too much longer to be out, so I'm hoping we can find one. I knew that felt weird. It's definitely not a bass. It is a squid. So I've just seen it squirt all its ink out. Oh, he's trying to get off. I doubt this is going to stay on. God, look at it squirting all its ink. That's not a bad sized squid, that. There we go, check that out. That's a lovely sized squid, in fact. There we are. That's the size of my foot. That's a lovely sized squid. That's probably actually the biggest one I've caught this year, and it's not even on a squid jig. Right, what I'll do is just give this squid a knock on the head. That's going to put it out its misery, and then we can get this off. That was so weird. I thought I just thought I hooked some seaweed, and then I saw it spraying its ink everywhere. I know you can't see that well, but nice squid there. That'd be good for dinner. Bloody hell. Not what I was expecting, I must admit. Surely there's got to be a bass around here somewhere. I would have thought with all that groundswell sucking out from these boulders, there'd be some fish on the perimeter. Even just small ones. Now, if it was night time, it would be a different story, I think. So we're the next day, and after two pretty unsuccessful fishing trips in this video, at least I've got something to cook and something to eat out of it. Now, I'm going to be cooking up some of this squid. I prepared it yesterday and just cut it into rings and put it into my fridge. Now what I'm going to be doing is making my version of a Puttanesca sauce, which is basically an Italian tomato based sauce, but it's lovely and rich. It's got lovely herbs in it. I'm going to be using basil, but you can use parsley, chervil, anything like that. It's got olives, it's got the sharpness from capers, lemon zest, some shallots and some garlic, and then some sun-dried tomatoes. Now, it really is a tasty sauce, and I'm going to make a quick version. I'm going to make a little extra because I'm going to keep some in my fridge for a meal tomorrow. Then we're going to simply pan fry our squid and add it to the sauce, and it's going to be a lovely little snack before I head out and go fishing again this evening. Now, it's bitterly cold today. This is definitely going to be a winter warmer. Let's do it. Right, so I've literally prepped all the ingredients just to save a bit of time. As I said, I've got the squid here already cut into rings, lovely and washed, nice and fresh. And then we've got some shallots, some garlic cloves to go in, some lemon zest, basil, some olives, some capers, sun-dried tomatoes, a tin of tinned tomatoes, and some chili flakes. So let's get a pan on, we'll make this sauce, cook this squid, and it's going to be beautiful. Right. Let's get a pan on, some olive oil in. Now this is induction I'm using, so it heats up really, really quickly. Get our board of ingredients over here. And the first thing we're going to be putting into this is the shallot. So I've got 4 shallots here, just sliced. Very simple. And we're going to start off by sweating these down, then we're going to add the garlic. And then after that, I'm actually going to add the tomatoes because I want to simmer those out a little bit. We'll add the other ingredients as we go. It's not going to take too long to cook. It's a pretty simple sauce. Well, it's a very simple sauce, sorry. Now, this sauce goes absolutely brilliantly, and usually you would have it with pasta. So the reason for me making a little extra today is because then I can get another meal out of it tomorrow. Right, we're going to need sea salt and black pepper. These shallots are going to cook down pretty quickly. Just gently sauteing them off. Right, going to season that with a bit of salt. And then crush our garlic cloves into that. Onions and garlic when you're frying it. Oh, just the smell of that alone. It's a a very moorish smell. Really the base of any hearty food. So we're sweating up our onions and garlic. At this point, what I'd usually do is add a touch of red wine and reduce that, but I don't have any red wine at all, so we're going in with the tin tomatoes. I'm using plum tomatoes, but obviously just a tin of chopped tomatoes is absolutely fine as well. We'll season that up a bit. And then we'll just break down those plum tomatoes a little. Give it a little stir. I'm going to bring that to a simmer, cook it out slightly, add our other ingredients, adjust the seasoning. Probably be ready in about 10-12 minutes time. Right, this has been simmering away for about 6 minutes now. Now the next step, I'm going to drop in these sun-dried tomatoes. Now these are going to add an even richer, bolder taste to that sauce. Just stir those in. I'm going to simmer this for another minute and then basically finish with the rest of the ingredients. I'm going to put the lemon zest and the basil in at the very last minute. In fact, what I will put in now is about half a teaspoon of chili flakes. Give it a little kick. It's smelling absolutely beautiful already. This one's going to be a tasty one. Right, let's give it a little taste. Check for the seasoning. Oh, got that kick from the chili. Just a touch more salt in there and a bit more black pepper. Now I would also add a little touch of paprika, however I'm out of that as well. That will just give it a bit of boldness to the sauce and a bit of a deeper red colour, obviously with the flavour as well, but you get that nice rich colour from it. But what we're going to add now is the capers, the olives, and then the capers. And I'm going to simmer this for another few minutes and it should be ready to go very soon. Right, let's get that out of the way. Just give that a little wipe. We've got a lovely fresh basil. And just very roughly chop a bit of that up. That's gonna be enough for this. So about half a packet there. Now, as always with fresh herbs, always at the last minute. You put them in now, they're just gonna wilt, turn to nothing. Especially basil, it's a very delicate herb. Now, what I will do is just move this over to the left. And frying pan out. I'm going to put this on max heat. Now squid, I'm just going to season straight in here. And once this is heated up, we're going to flash fry the squid, add the basil and the lemon to the sauce, and then I'm eating. Alright, olive oil in. Lemon zest into the sauce. Combined all that salt and pepper with the squid. And in we go. As you'll know, squid cooks very, very quickly. That's why you want it on maximum heat. Just toss it about a little. The sauce is looking beautiful. So I'm going to take this sauce off the heat now. Drop that basil in. I'm going to turn this one down. This squid is cooked. And then I'll give this a stir. Very simply, just going to get a ladle of that straight in here. And that there is ready. Come take a look. There we go. Take a look at that. Oh my God. Absolutely beautiful. Just going to lay that on the plate. All those lovely ingredients combined together. All of that sauce. Drizzle it over. And then we just finish it with a bit of basil on top. And check that out for a fantastic, lovely, light lunch packed full of flavour. Freshly caught squid. Oh, I already know this is going to be very tasty. So all in all, it took about, you're talking between 10 and 15 minutes to make that sauce. Oh, all those flavours in there. Oh my God. The squid. Look. Just cut straight through that. You got that little bit of kick from the chili, the freshness from the basil. You got the saltiness and the almost sourness from the capers. You got the saltiness from the olives. It all just works so well. I mean, there's a reason why it's a classic Italian sauce. But that with squid, so nice. You don't need the pasta. And obviously it's a very healthy meal too. It's so nice also, especially on a day like today. It's got really cold. You've got strong northerly winds and it's taking the temperature right down. Fishing later is not going to be fun. But it's so nice to have a nice warming, hearty meal like this on a day like today. It really is. Oh my God. A little food stall or a little food shack next to the seaside, banging out dishes like this, really quick. Money maker. I haven't even been talking, just eating. So nice. One of those things that when you're cooking it, you can smell it and it just immediately makes you hungry. So once you start eating it, you can't stop. Now for any of the Catch and Cook fans out there, if you want to try one at home, I really suggest trying this one. I mean, if you can go and catch your own squid, then brilliant. If not, you can source it locally, sustainably. Fresh squid's always better. But yeah, really give it a go. So rather than sit and watch me finish this, I'm probably going to leave the video there. Now I know in this video it was a bit of a mixed match of two different sessions. I actually didn't end up going back to the first spot I went to later that day or the day after because the weather turned and it was completely unfishable. The next day, that is. So yeah, I haven't really been out bassing too much. I did go out the other day. I'm trying to get some content together and hopefully put up some videos over the next few weeks, more consistently than I have been lately. But I really hope you've enjoyed this one. It's lovely to have a little cook up at the end. I hope you've enjoyed coming along with me. Really appreciate all the feedback, all the likes and all the shares and all the comments. Thank you very much. It means a lot. I'll see you on the next one. And hopefully we'll be catching some more lovely seafood and cooking it up.